கொஞ்சம் படிக்க பார்த்து Sudha ma'am. Sudha ma'am. Am I on, ma'am? Sudha ma'am. Hello. Ma'am, is it audible? Sudha ma'am. Recordings. Start பண்ணிட்டுறேன். ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணிட்டேன் ரெக்கார்டிங். இது எங்க வைக்கணும் அப்படின்னு பார்த்துட்டு பாரு மேம். Ma'am, Sudha ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, let us start, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Let us start
okay,
with the welcome address, ma'am. As usual. Yeah. Good evening, one and all. And let us start the webinar with the blessings of God Almighty. And I would like to propose the give the welcome person and all the participants. And webinars are not webinars are the day order of the day to make us feel that we are not locked up at the time of lockdown. On behalf of all of us, we are deeply appreciative and offer you our most grateful welcome. I am Dr. Sangeeta, HOD of English, Tiruvallur University Constituent College of Arts and Science, Kallakurichi. And I'm so excited to be here and to have the opportunity to give this welcome address. At the outset, I would like to give my immense pleasure to thank our Honorable Vice Chancellor, our respected Registrar, and our University Department HOD, and all the higher authorities of our Tiruvallur University for allowing me to conduct such webinars for the development of the enriched knowledge to the students, and also to the freshers, and also to the staff members. And I welcome our college principal and all our department staff members and other department staff members. And it is my duty to welcome our resource person, Dr. Jayasudha from DRBCCC College, Chennai. And she is our resource person today, and she is going to give talk on children's literature. Before that, I would like to give a brief introduction to the children's literature. Children's literature or juvenile literature includes stories, books, magazines, and poems that are made for children. Modern children's literature is classified two different ways: genre or the intended age of the reader. Children's literature can be traced to stories such as fairy tales that have only been identified as children's literature in the 18th century, and songs, part of a wider oral tradition that adults share with children before publishing existed. The development of early children's literature before printing was invented is difficult to trace. Even after printing became widespread, many classic children's tales were originally created for adults and later adapted for a younger audience. Since the 15th century, much literature has been aimed specifically at children, often with a moral or religious message. Children's literature has been shaped by the religious sources like Puritan traditions or by more philosophic and scientific standpoints with the influence of Charles Darwin and John all these critics. There is no single or widely used definition for children's literature. It can be broadly defined as the body of written works and accompanying illustrations produced in order to entertain or instruct young people. The genre encompasses a wide range of works, including acknowledged classics of world literature, picture books, and easy to read stories written exclusively for children, and fairy tales, lullabies, fables, folk songs, and other primarily orally transmitted materials are more specifically defined as fiction, non-fiction, poetry, or drama intended for and used by children and young people. One writer on children's literature defines it as all books written for children, excluding works such as comic books, joke books, cartoon books, and non-fiction works that are not intended to the read from the front to back, such as dictionaries, encyclopedias, and other also be included. Children's literature studies has traditionally
Well,
video ended because the connection.
you're audible.
Ma'am?
Yes, I'm there. Shall I start?
Ma'am?
Yes, yes.
Sudha,
Can you hear? Yes. Can you hear me? Hello. Yes.
Hello.
Yes, I'm there.
Hello.
I'm there, ma'am. Hello.
Hello. Ma'am?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Sudha, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am, I'm there.
What happened? Video.
Ma'am, I think the problem is in your side because it is the folk tales, folklore, the oral tradition of it has been passed generation to generation. What for? To dictate them. We always have the ego of saying, I'm perfect, they are not. So let me teach them. No, learning occurs by imitating. As language teachers, we know that. They imitate our sounds. They imitate us. This is how the living skills also occur. But in those days, it was started with an idea to dictate them, to teach them. This is what is the beginning of having such oral folk tales for children. Especially the grandmothers used to tell them, and epics with moral values, with didactic theme, didactic theme, moral values. We pass on to them, and mythical stories to tell about them what is exact. It is to discipline them, and about heroes, superheroes, to give them some sort of a courage. But already they are courage. His poem that was written in 1802. So that is the very important beginning of this children's literature. The importance of what are the themes that has to be concentrated to write for. It's not that easy. It is not that easy to write for a child. It is not that easy to talk with a child. So much of patience, so much of extra skill we need to understand their mind. So, as a literary um, teachers, the teachers of literature, we would have come across so many problems facing our adolescent children, adolescent students. How they see our view is different, their view is different. And we always talk about materialistic world. They talk about their world, and their world is entirely different, beautiful. What according to them is happiness, not what we think of what the materialism as happiness. So this difference, this is the generation gap. And even in children's literature, it is not that what the theme is conveyed only for children. No, let us come down to their level to understand these themes, to come out of the very stressful world of adults. So this is what here it is. Though it is the stressful world that we have built around us, it is time to come out of it, and not only to come out of that stressful world, but it is very essential to know what is exactly the problem that we are facing. That is what here the topic is to be carried on to. It is more the very clear topic there says eco. Eco is ecology. Ecology, the study of environment, the study of nature, and pedagogy, the tools. We are very good teachers. We take any sort of thing as a tool to teach them. We take literature as a tool. We take technology as a tool. So we teach them. But ecologically, they are very close to nature. Children are more close to nature than adults. So, how to teach them the philosophy of life through nature? This is what is exactly the intention, that is the focus of today's webinar. So, how to take it ecological, how to take it eco-pedagogical through technology. That is the very funniest thing that we are doing now. How to take this eco-centric literature, especially children's literature, on. So, how to take this towards, that is, technology? Yes, of course, we are using the technology, but how to take that to the outside world as a literary teachers of literature? We need to apply few theories. And why theories? The critical aspects in children's literature is this text gives us a very easy way of and the purpose of applying the theories on children's literature. In the text, Children's Literature New Approaches, Karin Lesnick-Oberstein has given us what not. Any theory can be applied to the children's literature. Very important, eco-criticism theory can be applied, psychoanalytical theory can be applied, post-colonial theory can be applied, any theory for that matter can be applied to this genre, the new upcoming genre. Now I have come to know from various universities that they have introduced children's literature as one separate subject. And I have gone through some of the syllabus also. Again, when we take that syllabus, it is again nature, psychological, mythical oriented. The selection of text were more closer to the nature. Why it is? Because they are the people still close with nature. Coming to that, why they are very closer to nature? Because they have not lost, they are yet to lose their innocence. Only when we are light-hearted, without any ego, without any other worldly expectations, we think about only then we could hear the birds singing. Only then we could hear the light outside, or else we shut inside, and we enjoy the luxurious, the technological luxuries. But if we are the children, if we just become the children, bend to their level, we never think of this. We will definitely go out to explore this world. And that is where this eco-criticism is to be applied. And that is the way where we are going to take the topic to eco-pedagogy. Pedagogy is again teaching learning. Why eco? And how children's literature is doing that. Eco-criticism, as everyone knows, it is an umbrella term. And it's a big term. It's a wider term. And there is a lot of critical explanation towards how it can be seen, how a text can be interpreted. Simply to put, it's a very simple word, but it's not that easy to concise itself to one particular definition with this. Simply to put, eco-criticism is the study of the relationship between literature and the physical environment. We know literature is a reflection of life, but how? Not environment? Is it not the environment? It is. And eco-criticism started developing in 1990s when Glodfelty, William Rubel in applying to all the text as a separate movement, it has been started, and to give life to this movement, they have started an organization, association, which is very active now. ASLE, Association for the Study of Literature and Environment, and added to their association, they wanted to spread their ideas, and they wanted to receive others' ideas also. So the journal is now very much active. Interdisciplinary studies in literature and environment. That is what. And now coming to the terms, eco-critical terms that can be applied to children's literature. Okay, now the focus of the theme is biodiversity. Biodiversity. See, when we take this section of readers, not the section of readers, not the small kids alone, but people who really wanted to be child-hearted. They, especially children, they say it's not that easy to become a child. Child see everything, anything around them without any bias. It will have their dolls beside them. They'll have, even if you give them even a snake, they'll admire that snake. If they see any ant, even that small observation they will not leave. And that sort of a biodiversity we could see only in children. With the ever widening world of flora, they alone have the patience, and they alone have the liking for admiring small things around them. They love to stand, and they have time, and they create time, and they spend time to stand and stare. Unlike adults, we never spend time to stand and stare small flora and fauna. They stand, they pluck it, they talk. I'll come to that term later. The teaching and learning process towards peaceful. Why we have to be like that? Because again, self-centered as any other adult, it is for peaceful living in this world. Why? Only if it is like a child, if we live, only peace reaches us. Why? That is, the teaching and learning process towards peaceful living on earth is to accept this life as it is, not complaining why it is so, why it is that, why my salary is low, why his salary is high, why my house is small, why that. See, all these things we are making us the messy things that we are really doing it to ourselves, the self-centered life. Children, they don't know about all these things. They play. Only we are sowing all these things on in their mind, the innocent mind. So Wordsworth has wonderfully spoken about the innocence of the children in his poem, Ode, Intimations, Immortality. So that was written in 1807, where he talks about how he slowly loses his innocence. The course of during the course of growing up from a small child to an adult, how he loses innocence. So that was a wonderful poem where he conveys us where he has lost his innocence. Yes, we have lost it, and that is where we have lost our peace also. And peaceful living on earth, we need it, the innocence. And Gregerard's idea of animism can be seen in children's literature. What is animism? Animism is belief, belief of a life in anything around us. Not living things alone, but life in anything. Life in non-living things also. We could see children talking to dolls. We could see children talking to trees. We could see them talking to anything around them, living or non-living. And in some of the stories, we could see that how they talk to the animals around them, how they talk to the trees, and especially dolls they talk with, because they believe. And this can be seen in tribal people, the people who are very close to nature. So Gregerard has termed it as animism. So where could one find this animism in which person? Children, they have this idea of animism. They have this attitude, animistic attitude, and they accept anything, living or non-living, because for them everything is the same. and anthropocentric concepts to the future generation. Anthropocentrism, always adults, not children especially. Adults, we always self-centered. We always say, I'm superior. So, are we superior only to the other people? No, we are superior to entire world. We are superior to all the other living beings. We are superior to nature. We are superior to. So this is where this we are facing the crisis, the ecological crisis, the ecological crisis. Anthropocentric leads to. So this concept, how are we going to? They don't have this anthropocentric ideas because they accept a dog, they accept a cat, they accept doll. They'll give their place to all. Children give place to all the other things. And for them, there is no difference between a very antiseptic what to say, living area, or it is the dirty, muddy pond. It is the same for them. And this anthropocentric concepts, how through children's literature, we are taking it to the future generation. That is the concept this we could see in children's literature, and most of the writers, they concentrate on this because this is the inborn nature of any child, and the nature should be taught as it is, the reality. They love to hear only real stories. And yes, of course, they love to hear supernatural stories. They love to hear the world, the dreamy world. That is psychoanalytical approach. If we apply it to, we could see them enjoying their dream world coming true through literary text. They enjoy because they wanted to fly, which in real life it is not possible. But some of the writers had made it possible for them to fly. Even adults love to fly. The music of nature. Who could hear? Usually reason. So that is, it becomes a therapy for the human mind with weariness. And that is what this children's literature also gives, even not only for the children, even for the adults. It gives us some sort of we sit and watch cartoons, we play them, or we watch them, at least we watch them play, and we come out of our world for some few minutes, and the ego or the adult's ego will not allow us to go and join them. And that is the reason where we lose ourselves and we don't take this treatment, therapeutic nature, the therapeutic attitude of the nature. The therapy is in nature. That children they enjoy, and that is the reason the theme also is more ecological when we take children's literature. And topophilia, they love their place. That is the term. Is the love for our living space, place. They love their place. They'll have one small plant, they plant it, they see it grow, and they wanted to see how it is growing, one leaf, the next leaf, and this is how they enjoy their life. And every day they go and watch it. If they are having a small puppy dog, they'll go and watch it whether it has grown bigger, or every time they'll have on their lap. This is what, and living space, they love it. And That is what is the world of children. Biophilia, that is the empathy that they show towards anything. They show towards anything, living or non-living. Again, human or non-human, anyone, without any bias. Biophilia, that is the attention they give, not like adults. Again, children's literature has that sort of approach, and those texts will be accepted only with all these uh, criteria. If a text has all these quality, the child likes it. Biophilia, attention and empathy towards all life on earth. If we tell children to not to give food for that small dog and only for the bigger one, the child won't accept it. Or if it is for another creature and not for a small they will not accept it. The empathy towards any life, if the empathy towards a beggar and the bigger millionaire will be the same for a child. And that empathy towards nature is biophilia. This may serve as a, again, it's a therapeutic. Why it is therapeutic? Again, to live a very peaceful life, to have a very free life, free, I mean, not a very narrow-minded life. And that is what young minds always have. And we always think that we are showing them their path. No, they are that is a man, child is the father of the man, as Wordsworth says. Eco-criticism theory highlights the nature's mysticism and beauty. So, in one of the article in the Eco-criticism reader, Glotfelty finds it out, the difference between nature and natural. What is the difference between nature writing and natural writing? This is what wilderness. Nature writing is giving some shape, beautifying nature. Now we are using all artificial flowers. Beyond that, beautifying nature with the natural flowers, we beautify. We have gardens, we beautify with the natural things. That is nature. Natural is wilderness. This is the exact beauty or the nature's beauty, not the other one. Natural beauty. Children love to have this natural beauty, wilderness, and not in the regulated. They don't. They may have some sort of a liking to have to plant or to beautify it, but wilderness gives more happiness than the beautified one, nature. So natural writing, children's literature is naturally written. Only if it is naturally said, only if it is realistically said, children accept it. So next, they get delighted with all the natural surroundings and loves everything associated with their life, anything associated with their life, people around them, the beautiful flowers around them, the plant around them, the dolls around them, anything around them they love. And that is the concept here is. And now, why it is now from eco criticism to eco pedagogy? Because as adults, we want to teach them. We always intend to teach them. We always wanted to convey them and thinking that, assuming that only we know. So, eco pedagogy. This is the term introduced in 1992 by few people. It's a discourse, it's a movement again, like eco-criticism, it's again one more movement. Why? What is a movement is all about? It is a movement in education, and it is the movement. Why it is education? Because only here we have this learning. We think that only in the educational system we have this learning and teaching and learning process occurs. No, anywhere it occurs. So this discourse, eco-pedagogy, the discourse, it's a movement in education introduced by the American philosophers Paula Freire and Mausir Gatotti and Leonardo Boff. These three people, American philosophers, they thought while having tea, they were discussing about what should be done to change this pedagogy. The pedagogy we always go for the learning and teaching and learning process. What we teach, learn, and a certificate. And that is the paper, the proof for it. This is what is the process. And it is so what they thought is there must be a re-education course that should be taken into consideration. It is to re-educate the citizens. It is not for children alone. It's not for one particular creature. It is for citizens of this world. They have broadened the idea. Eco-criticism for readers, for man, but it is now for everyone, the citizens of this planet. The injustice that we have given them, the injustice we have given to this earth as a whole. Now it has seen as a whole. Now eco-criticism is broadened to eco-pedagogy, seeing this world as a whole, the citizens of this planet. And again, the destination is towards peaceful living. The destination is towards peaceful living, again, in this eco-pedagogy. And more than this, it is for not only for nature, it is for social, ecological, and climatic justice. It is not for some animals. It is not for insects. It's for climate also. It is for anything, the society, people, and everything on this earth, citizens of this planet. So this eco-pedagogy is broadened to all the creatures on earth, not creatures, anything on earth. So towards universal creatures fights for a global peace, the global peace. So this sort of a pedagogy is to take it to the global peace. And that is what is now it has reached to this platform. And now we are in techno-pedagogy. As everyone knows it, now I think everybody is this. We are using technology. We are totally helpless. And during this pandemic period, we are teaching them through the technology. Technology is helping us. Technology is really now, giving support to us to take our views to the world. So this techno-pedagogy, teaching and learning process through technology, that is the pedagogy. But what for children? We have made them sit inside the room to learn the photo language. They are very, very comfortable to learn a language in the picture view, acquisition of photo language. They have now taken up this. They are using all the emojis to express their emotions, and that is the photo language. And this photo language now they have acquired. They no more wanted a big sentence to be typed there. They wanted to use some sort of memes, or they wanted to use emojis, and they wanted to just paste it, and we too joined them. That is different. We are learning from them the photo language, and that is what is now occurring. And we are using all the photo language things to convey our message to them. And the children, they are called as the digital natives. They are now the digital natives. They read stories too from the digital devices, and that is what is the pedagogy. And now it is very clear what is eco-pedagogy. As a teachers of literature, see, the civilization has taken like this. And this, some few years back, it was the education, the pedagogy was like this. The boy carrying the entire books. Now he's carrying only one tab, and that is how the evolution of pedagogy, the techno pedagogy has occurred. But now it is the different pedagogy. Okay, you carry your tab with you, but it is the earth which is more important to be considered. And that literature, teachers of literature, we put this eco into the pedagogy, literary critical way of teaching our students. That is what this image conveys. Eco-pedagogy and through children's literature, how it is. We teach them bedtime stories focusing on anti-anthropocentrism. We tell them. I used to tell stories to my elder one. How? Bedtime stories, elephant, whatever we think that the flow just goes with all the characters, any characters, animal character, insect character, anything comes in that way. In the mind, it just flows. So no, it is only if it is anti-anthropocentrism, they accept it. The trees, they should talk. The animals should talk. எறும்பு வந்து பேசணும். It has to come and talk to the elephant. Only then they'll accept it. And the snake has to talk. So this is something, it's not to say that man alone knows to talk. The language is very common to anyone to say, and that bedtime stories carry it. The very beginning of their, we introduce literature to them only through bedtime stories, where we naturally we introduce them this anti-anthropocentrism, which is eco-pedagogical. And now we have all these terms: animism, anthropocentrism, anthropomorphism, anything. But these theories, what for? The theories are to practice. It is not to write exams, or it is not to pass their exams, or not to present some papers, but to practice for life. And that is what theory into how to practice, and how this children's literature is to be practiced in real life. And to attain the ecological democracy, very important word now we come to hear, it is ecological democracy. We already have that we give in bedtime stories when we are narrating from the book or from the mind, in whatever way it is ecological democracy that attains through our narration, storytelling. That is a wonderful pedagogy. That's a wonderful art that any adult should have. We have to accept that any creature is same. So ecological democracy and justice, the social justice. So it's not a movement, it's not a politics, it's not something to say that we are greening. It is not greening, making our earth possible for us to live in it. So education plays a vital role in it, and education is nothing but text, literary text, and how we are, and we are so fortunate, we are the teachers teachers of humanity studies. And this subject, that what our contribution is towards this ecological democracy and social justice. And this is what, to attain that, children's literature really helps us. And now education. Now the education is towards sustainability skill. Sustainability skill, if we ask any technological, the teacher belongs to technology department, they will tell, computer science department, they will tell that they have to know the technology, only then they can find a good job. So what, as a teacher of literature, as a teacher of language, this education, what sort of a sustainability skill that we are giving to the future adults through children's literature, it can be attained. And all creatures here, they are given the full freedom to talk. In children's literature alone, we could see all the characters talk. The trees talk, the animals talk, and birds talk. Why? They are talking, but literature is giving them the language of human beings to convey their ideas to the human audience. This is what. And eco-pedagogical writing. This is what is to be understood. And which are the texts are children's literature. And that is according to how you understand a text. If we take Mulkraj Anand's The Last Child gets lost in a fair, but the description is wonderfully given by the author, how the child admires when the parents are thinking about many other things. The child is focused only on the things that it come across. It explores. That exploration a child really enjoys. And when we take Happy Prince, Oscar Wilde's A Happy Prince, and the philosophy of living, the uncertainty philosophy, when an adult fails to understand, this writer has wonderfully put the uncertainty of life and the meaningless materialism on this earth. He has put this story into a wonderful, it gives a platform for us to understand, for the children to understand. That is the theme. And Ruskin Bond's stories are, again, it is the adventures of animals, the adventures of not the child, the adventures of animal, Toto. Toto is the name of the animal, monkey. And here he gives the freedom for any character to talk. Characters are his stories. Characters are animals, the trees, and how children they show their empathy towards animals. Small crocodile, they give empathy to buffaloes. There is no difference between a buffalo, beautiful buffalo. Their describing word differs. For an adult, beautiful buffalo, how a buffalo can be a beautiful animal, but for them it is beautiful. And this is what is the view of a child, eco-pedagogical. They learn from nature. It is not from the book, it is not from anybody, but eco-centric, but from nature, eco-pedagogical. The writings already the writers have focused on. And Robert Frost poems with all the philosophy of life, Road Not Taken, The Mending Walls, anything for that matter, it conveys the eco concept. Eco concept is not I'm to say that I'm a great environmentalist. It is the life skill that the children's literature conveys, the life skill that it conveys to the children, the readers, not only children, any adults who reads it. It conveys the truth of, it is the mantra of living peacefully on earth. And this is why it is, why children's literature eco-pedagogical. Why it has to be eco-pedagogical? Because the earth should be more, it is of more, it has to be, what to say, it has to be saved. It has to be saved, and only with the help of the future adults we could do it. And that is the reason children's literature more eco-pedagogical, and they are very closer to nature. So when a philosophy of life is conveyed through the natural imagery, they understand it in a better way, and not the adults. And so it is eco-pedagogical. The very difficult philosophies of life is very, it is simplified. And why it is simplified? Because children, they are broad-minded with the innocence within them, and they accept it, and they are the empty cups ready to learn. And that's the reason why this children's literature has been taken as a tool, and there the eco is thrown into the pedagogical way to convey them how to preserve the nature, not nature, the earth. And children are the world's most valuable resource, and its best hope for the future. And that is the reason why this group of readers, they are being chosen for the reading. They have been chosen for conveying the messages. Need to write for any child, because it is not that easy to sit, bend, and come to their level to talk, because they love it. If we sit and listen to them, if they are standing, if we have to sit and come to their level, and they love that. But writing in that way to occur, it is not that easy to do it. But many amazing writers, many talented writers, they have done it. But most of the children's literature are in the views of the adults. And now of late, many children, they have become the writers themselves. But how far they are conveying, or how far the language is helpful for them, it is up to the individual of the person. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. It's a very informative and very interesting session, ma'am. And you said that the children love to hear stories and supernatural stories. Not only the children, ma'am, we too. That's it. And you have talked about the eco-pedagogy and digital pedagogy and the elephant snake story. That all very interesting, ma'am. And but nowadays the children are not interested to ask stories, and they are not ready to hear the stories from a side. And according to my sense, they are watching the chutti TVs and so on and so on. And if you are telling some stories, you are wrong. The story is not like that. That is told by Dora and the bear in the what is the teddy bear in Varthaparada Karadi Sangam. They are not accepting our stories. The trend has changed, I think. Yeah.
No.
And you have well expressed why the children's literature is a pedagogical one. Very nice session, ma'am, and also a very interesting one. And thank you for the excellent session, ma'am. And let us come to the end of the session. I request Dr. Smita from Ambedkar College of Arts and Science, Chennai, to propose the vote of thanks to our respected resource person. Please welcome ma'am, Smita ma'am.
Hello, good evening, everyone.
Thank you.
Good evening, Jai Sudha. How are you?
Yeah, fine. Thank you.
It was wonderful listening to you, introducing the concepts first, talking about the relation of environment and literature, moving on to the pedagogy of it, eco-pedagogy, introducing the concept, and how we could bring out the planetary citizens into this world in protecting nature. Everything seems to be new at the same time was uh, a guiding force. In fact, it was kindling our interest, even though we have surpassed the age of the childhoodness. You have rekindled it. We will go back to
Thank you.
reading those stories. Especially, we will also have the practice of telling these stories, storytelling as an art. In fact, we are doing it as literature teachers, but we don't exercise them most in our homes. I think very soon all the teachers will do it. Thank you so much. And it was a wonderful session. In fact, thank you for giving us an insight into the child psychology. No, nobody has spoken about the child's perspective. So, perception of child, their innocence, their curiosity, their discoveries, those were informative. And thank you so much. Thank you, Sangeeta ma'am, Dr. Sangeeta, Head Department of English, Tiruvallur University, Constituent College of Arts and Science, Kalakuruchi. Thank you for organizing this webinar. Thanks to the Vice Chancellor and the Registrar of Tiruvallur University for allowing you and guiding you to conduct such webinars. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you, ma'am. Thank you. I once again thank our resource person because I select this topic because all the universities have this as one paper for the PG students, and our Tiruvallur University also have this paper in our syllabus. That's why I request our resource person to talk about the children's literature, because a lot of webinars going on nowadays. Such type of topics has not taken place in the webinars because they are all only applicable to the staff members, professors, to them only. But most of the students are participating in our program. The MPhil students, MPhil and PhD scholars participating in our program, and they have given me a lot of requests about the syllabus. And some PG students also requesting me to make arrangement related to our syllabus. It will be a useful one to us, ma'am. That is the request of our syllabus. So that's why I ask you to give a talk on children's literature, ma'am. Thanks for your cooperation with the webinar. And once again, thank you for your valuable speech, ma'am.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you, Sangeeta, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am. Thank you, one and all. I have one announcement to the participants, ma'am. The feedback form is taken place in the chat box. Dear all, please fill the feedback form and send it to me before 9 o'clock, because after 9 it will not be activated. As usual, before 9, all of you please send the feedback form. And our next webinar, I am going to give a talk on literary theory and the critical approaches in literature in Aringaranna Government Arts and Science College, Athur. Coming Saturday evening 4 to 5. Let us meet in that webinar too. And I request all your presence in that webinar. Thank you. Thank you, one and all. Okay. Yeah. Ma'am has gone.
Good evening, ma'am.
Yeah, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Excuse me, ma'am. I'm Janet Rose, ma'am.
Yeah.
I attended the webinar on that webinar, ma'am, but I didn't receive that e-certificate, even though I was filling.
Yes, ma'am. Yes. Due to the busy schedule, the continuous webinars, I have some. I have don't. Within 2 days, you will receive your certificates, ma'am. All are getting on ready. Within 2 days, you will receive.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah. Next webinar link I have sent through the WhatsApp group. I think all have received the link. Anybody need the link to apply?
Yes, ma'am.
You too. Okay, I will send it in the chat box. Huh? Okay, I will send it through the mail. Yes.
Hello,
Okay,
madam.
ma'am. Okay, ma'am.
You please don't confuse the registration link and the feedback link. That's why I didn't send the registration link in the chat box, because last time the participants were confused between the feedback link and the registration link. That's why I didn't send it.
Hello, madam.
Now
Good
I
Hello.
send.
afternoon, ma'am.
Yeah,
Good
please.
afternoon, ma'am. Please send
Yes, good
the
afternoon.
next webinar link because I really enjoyed the webinar of today. It was a really splendid, a wonderful one. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Yeah. Thank you, Mukta ma'am. Thank you. Okay, I will send you.
And ma'am, I would like to join the WhatsApp group which you have created. I just heard you have created some WhatsApp group for these webinars. I would like to be a participant in that also. In that WhatsApp group, I would be able to get the links from
Please
there.
send your number. Please. Okay, sir. Send your number to. Please note the number. Send your number to that. I will add you in the WhatsApp group.
Ma'am, in live chat, should I give my number?
Another?
Madam, should I?
Yeah, sir. Yes, sir. Give your number now.
Yeah. 7686084776
76.
768608476
Yes. Okay, sir. Your name, sir?
Ma'am, my name is Shoham Rai Chaudhary. Shoham Ray Chaudhary.
Okay, sure.
SOHM, Shoham.
Okay, sir. Okay. Yeah, I will add you in the WhatsApp group. You can get all the details through that
Yes,
group.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you very much. Thank you.
Yeah. Sir, payment. And from 30th to August 5th, we are going to conduct the 7-day online FDP, international FDP on literary criticism. And that too has taken place in all my. This is that link we will send through in the next webinar, because they will be confused. The feedback link is not working, huh? Yeah, it is working. You try once again, Mr. Mukesh. They will be confused because a lot of members need the feedback link now once again. You quote it, feedback link and registration link. Yes. Thanks, Vijay Geeta. Yeah, the registration link for the next webinar is sent through the chat box. The organizer also taken place in our webinar now, Dr. Ram Shankar. He is the organizer of the next coming webinar. He is the HOD of English in Aringarana Government Arts College, Atur. Yeah, thank you, Vasanta Priya. The feedback link is work. Try. And due to some fluctuations in the net connection, there is some problem in the live streaming in YouTube. And I request all the participants to subscribe our channel, because all the programs will be recorded and will be telecasted next day, because the live stream is not properly taken place, because I am in a very rural area, so that the net connection problem is taken place while live streaming, so that you all subscribe the channel, and it will be recorded and it will be telecasted in the next day. That's it. Dear participants, have you enjoyed with the topics which I have selected for the webinar? Thank you. Yes, I have selected only very, what I said.
Hello,
Yes.
ma'am. Hi, ma'am. I just want to congratulate you. I am a student from Bangalore. Thank you very much for all these webinars. I just wanted to suggest one topic and you can see if it is possible. There are many students who want to pursue a career in which literature is involved. And a lot of the students are not clear about that. So if you could have some resource person who can guide them on that, it would be great. Literature as a career and not just pertaining to the professor fields, right? Otherwise, it's wonderful. Thank you so much, ma'am. I would be glad if you take up this.
Yeah, thank you, ma. Thank you. Yes, like you, our students also have that feeling. That's why I have selected such type of topics which are related to the university syllabus, and it will be very useful for the students, because the staff members have already passed and got their degrees and so on, so on. So the students needed, students are in need, because in the COVID-19 period, they all in the home and they don't have any enough education. That's why I planned to select the topics related to the students, related to the university syllabuses. I search out all the university syllabus in the net, then only I prepared the topic and asked the resource persons to give the talk related to that. Thank you, ma. Thanks for your representation. I will do that. Okay, thank you, participants. Thank you, one and all. Ma'am, ma'am, Tamilarasi madam, I forget her name, our resource person friend. Ma'am, are you here? I forget the name, but I am seeing you in your photo. What's her name?